And again, back to Todorov. Funny is money, charming is disarming. Nobody ever dumped someone because they were too funny.
Yeah.
So lean towards that. Find something that's fun and something that's got some love in it and that showcases the best of you and somebody that you would actually want to be and words that you would want to be saying, like rather than just like, oh, for an hour last night I was rehearsing my horrendous monologue that makes me feel like shit. It's like, okay, great. Yeah, you can scream and cry for an hour, but do you want to? And is that what the world needs more of right now? Probably not. There's enough screaming, ranty, racist, negative, crying, awful shit in the world right now. So maybe you be the breath of fresh air with some love, some positivity, and some humor in your piece. And then they'll be like, oh man, this guy's a fucking barrel of monkeys. He'll be fun on set, rather than like, oh, does this guy need to see someone? Is he off his medications?
And also, if it's fun for you to work on,
right,
then you are also more likely to work on it.
right. Yeah. Versus great. I got to go to this
terrible things. Like we want to have fun.
Right. Yeah. And unfortunately, I think there's a lot of people who think that is the hallmark of being an actor is how angry and loud and how much of a psycho I can be. And yeah, there's a time and place for that stuff, or how I can bawl and cry and show them how emotionally vulnerable I am. And yeah, there's a time and a place for that too. But if you were to, hi, how you doing? Pleased to meet you. That's probably not the time and place to showcase that stuff. Lead with love and lead with humor and make some fucking friends, and then be like, oh, by the way, I can be a crazy psycho too, or I can cry on command if that's what you need me to do too. Like, that's never what they need you to do. But that's what a lot of people think is good acting. And it's really not about that. And number 5,
avoid iconic monologues from movies and TV played by star actors. Now, these are the monologues that you can easily find on YouTube that are like, this is the best performance I've ever seen. Something like that. If you're like, I want to do the speech from There Will Be Blood by Daniel Day-Lewis at the end of the movie where he says, I will drink your milkshake, that is a wrong choice.
Yes. Real fun and real cool. But if you're presenting that, it's for 2 reasons. One, nobody is going to not see Daniel Day-Lewis and then compare you to Daniel Day-Lewis as a shittier version of Daniel Day-Lewis. It's going to be impossible. They're not going to separate that. And the other thing is you're not going to be able to put your performance into it without being influenced by it. So one other side note that relates to this is if it is something from movies and TV, in all cases, if you haven't seen it, avoid watching it, because that and ideally, like, that's why I think theater pieces are probably the best places to find things. It's often better writing, and chances are less people have seen it. But yeah, don't pick the Academy Award winning actor from this past year, his biggest scene, because everyone knows that, and no one is going to be able to disassociate that A-list Hollywood actor from that role, and they're going to stack you up next to them, and the chances of you doing it better is going to be slim to none. And it's just not going to showcase you. You're going to be copying to some degree. You're going to be copying and influenced and beat by beat. Oh, this is where he raised his eyebrow, and this is where he got real loud, and this is where he got real quiet. You're going to copy all that, and it's not the point. So find more obscure things, maybe some older things. You can find contemporary stuff, but just don't pick the biggest movie in the social zeitgeist that everybody's talking about. And like, Daniel Day-Lewis, Meryl Streep, Heath Ledger, all of these people, like
Robin Williams. All of these people are greats in their own right, but like, you don't want you don't want to be regurgitating what they are because you're just an imitation of what they are.
Right. You don't want people immediately after your first line going, "Oh, I know what this is from. This is Daniel Day-Lewis's speech from There Will Be Blood." You want them to go, "Wow, that was incredible. What's that from?" And then you tell them what it was from, and they're like, "Oh, wow, really cool. That was great. Never seen that before."